Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Abstain.
One abstention. Regular meeting minutes, March 2nd, 2026.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And
Abstain.
one abstention. Thank you. Approval of warrants. The warrants are going around and there are a bunch of them. So please be sure to sign them before you leave so we can pay our bills. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. E, review of budget, year-to-date expenditure report through March 2026.
Through the chair, business manager Cindy Schofield submitted a budget and she's prepared to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mrs. Schofield? Okay, if there are any, be sure to reach out to her. She will do her best to get an answer for you if anything does arise.
Can I add that through the chair, that this is the report you're gonna be getting from now on? We kind of finagled some stuff to get a report that was user-friendly, so you'll be getting this. And then the hope is that, for the June meeting, and then your meetings to come, you're getting the same kind of report for grants.
Thank you very much. Okay. See, outside projects update, I made this a routine matter because the vocational director's been giving us an update every month, so rather than have a standing item in the new business, we'll just make it a all the time item.
Sure. Through the chair, I did provide a memo. It's in your packet, but an additional update. As of Friday, carpentry, electrical, and plumbing all have their rough sign-offs. Installation's going in and plaster boarding is going up soon. So, on track.
Excellent. Any questions for Mr. Tripp? Okay, thank you very much. Correspondence. I know we have an oath of office for our new Auburn member, Erica Euchre. Is that correctly?
It's Iker.
Eicher. So I tried.
That's
You
okay.
just said to somebody, you're not gonna get it right.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Nope. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
We try to get everyone's voice heard, and there are a lot of voices, as you can see at this table. So if you need to get my attention, Katie's usually pretty good at doing that. Just pitch her, she'll yell, "I got it."
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on. Student Advisory Committee. Our student rep, Dave Becker, is here tonight.
Yes, sir. Okay, good evening to all members and guests. Thank you, members of this committee and those of the public, for your attendance tonight. I truly appreciate the warm welcome back after my past 2 meeting absences. So to begin, I'd like to acknowledge the Student Council's new membership into the Central District of Massachusetts Association of Student Councils. So this is an organization which encompasses much of Worcester County and hosts several events every year attended by handfuls of students across dozens of schools. So becoming part of this network is going to be playing a pivotal role for the future of collaboration, fundraising, and donating to local hospitals, shelters, and places in need across the county for many years to come. So I'd like to extend my gratitude to the Stuco advisor, Rachel Hernley, for working with me in applying and advocating for BayPath's entry into this prestigious association. Also, the Skills USA state competition is on the horizon, which will be occurring from Thursday, April 30th, until Saturday, May 2nd. This is a great event which BayPath consistently thrives in. And from my count, there are around 36 students that will be attending, 10 of whom are seniors, including myself. We're all looking forward to preparing and representing our school while demonstrating the dedication that defines our vocational programs. And as the year begins to come to a close, it's important to recognize the effort and growth demonstrated by students across all grade levels. Seniors are preparing for graduation and transition into college, careers, and other opportunities, while underclassmen continue building the skills and experiences that guide them forward. Spring is a particularly active time at BayPath, with competitions, events, and end-of-year activities that showcase both academic and vocational achievements. It's encouraging to see students remain engaged and motivated as they finish the year strong, supporting one another and contributing to the school community in very meaningful ways. I continue to hear from students who are focused on finishing the year strong and making the most of their opportunities ahead here at BayPath and beyond. For us seniors, I must admit every academic day ahead can sometimes feel excruciating, but we're committed to finishing the year off strong and not allowing our hard work to go to waste. And I'd also like to recognize and thank our teachers for their continued hard work and dedication. As we now enter the fourth quarter, their efforts to support both students, both academically and personally, should not go unnoticed. They play a vital role in the strength and success of our school community and the overarching success of our students. We truly appreciate everything they do for us students. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dave. All right, moving on, there's no old business tonight. Citizen participation, I do see a new group out there, so before I get started, I'm just gonna remind everyone, because there are some new faces as well when I look out. And it's our public comment at school committee meetings, it's our policy. All regular and special meetings of the school committee shall be open to the public. Executive sessions will be held only as prescribed by the statutes of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. School committee desires individuals to attend its meetings so they may become better acquainted with the operations and the programs of our local public schools. In addition, the committee would like the opportunity to hear public comment. Public comment is not a discussion, debate, or dialogue between individuals and the school committee. It is an individual's opportunity to express an opinion on issues within the school committee's authority. To ensure the ability of the school committee to conduct the district's business in an orderly manner, the following rules and procedures are adopted. At the start of each regularly scheduled school committee meeting, individuals will sign in for an opportunity to speak during public comment. The public comment segment shall not exceed 15 minutes. All speakers are encouraged to present their remarks in a respectful manner. The chair may remove public comment from the agenda upon providing sufficient notice. Speakers will be allowed up to 3 minutes to present their material and must begin their comments by stating their name and city or town. The presiding chair may permit extension of this time limit in extenuating circumstances. Topics for discussion should be limited to those items within the school committee's scope of authority. The authority of the school committee primarily concerns the review and approval of the budget of the district's public schools, the performance of the superintendent, and the educational goals and policies of the district's public schools. Comments and complaints regarding school personnel, apart from the superintendent or students, are generally prohibited unless those comments and complaints concern matters within the scope of school committee authority. The chair of the meeting, after a warning, reserves the right to terminate speech which is not constitutionally protected because it constitutes true threats that are likely to provoke a violent reaction and cause a breach of the peace or incitement to imminent lawless conduct or contains obscenities. Written comments longer than 3 minutes may be presented to the presiding chair before or after the meeting. All remarks will be addressed through the chair of the meeting. Comments made during the public comment portion of the meeting do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Southern Worcester County Regional Vocational School Committee. Sign-up instructions will be provided for those who wish to participate in public comment. I can't memorize that for the life of me, but moving on, if there's anyone who'd like to speak in public comment? Yes, sir?
Thank you, David Singer, Charlton, Mass. I won't hit the limit, I promise you. I'll be brief. I have my own work to get done. I did want to address what I meant to address the last time I had come before this committee. I was under the impression to do the agenda, so I couldn't actually make the statement, so I wanted to make it now. And sadly, I've actually heard even more complaints from more families, not specific to Bay Path, but you're not exempt. You're actually one of the schools on the list of complaints that now range from anti-Semitism, bigotry, racism, to bullying, and even sexual harassment in the school hallways and classrooms. I really don't want to go down that road. It's ridiculous, and I'm not law enforcement. I am simply here to state that the school committee is where the buck stops. It doesn't stop with the administration, it doesn't stop with the teachers. It all rolls up to you. What happens in these hallways? The people you hire and the rules that have to be followed. DESE has guidelines. Sadly, I do not believe from the complaints I have heard that they're being followed in this school as well. My request is that this school, among others I'll be going to very shortly, I'll just say do a DESE audit to make sure that your classrooms are not being used as political indoctrination camps, which I'm being told they are. You are one of about 4 schools in the area. I'm not going to name specific teachers' names. I've been asked to do that. People in the community are starting to complain. Why should the unions and teachers ask us for support? Why should we support them when they won't do their job, which is to protect the children in their classrooms they're entrusted with from the lies and the hate? They're here to teach, not to indoctrinate. Bay Path is one of those schools. I'm hoping that this committee will take it seriously. I'm hoping this administration will take it seriously. Because I don't want to have to come back again, and I don't want to have to start bringing those parents with me. Because they're not going to be, I think, as polite as I've tried to be. I know I worked with the principal and HR over one issue. They had at least told me at that last meeting that this has been addressed. Unfortunately, it's one issue, and it's apparently not enough to make sure that it's not continuing in Bay Path. So I'm asking this committee, and I don't threaten people, I'm not calling people on my names, but the bottom line is when parents are looking at this, they look at two things. Can we trust these school committee members who are the top of the pyramid? You make these decisions, not the teachers and not the principal, right? And you're the ones who take teachers and the principal to task if they're violating DESI policies and everything else. So it's upon this committee to make sure, I hope that this happens. Just like every other board or committee in town or any other town, these are seats that are up for election or re-election. And as you are going to begin seeing in some of these school committee races, there's going to be a lot of things coming out.
I don't know how much you have left, we're just in about 2 minutes.
I'm
Okay.
fine. So I will leave you with that. I would ask the school committee to take much more seriously the accusations I'm hearing about your hallways and classrooms. I would ask the teachers in the school to think very hard too before they ask the community to support them. If they won't open their mouths and speak up for their own children when the bullying and hate we know is in the school and they know it's there, but they don't want to speak up, then you're not doing your job.
Thank you. Any other comments?
So, just for people who I haven't been introduced to as new members, my name is Eileen McNamara. I am the president of Unit A and Unit C of the BPTA. You have in front of you here many members of Unit A as well as community members, former students, who are here for a very simple request to the school committee, in particular the school committee's negotiation team. We are asking you to come back to the table and negotiate with us. We are here tonight because by this time in our last negotiation session, we had 6 bargaining meetings under our belt. This time, 3 years later, we have only had 2 sessions. Our first opening session in January, and now our second opening session that happened March 19th. At both of these sessions, the school committee team allowed the district's legal advisors to hijack the meeting away from negotiating the contract and instead walked out of the room twice at our last meeting because we would not give up our rights to choose our own bargaining team. We have shown up to both sessions ready and willing to negotiate the contract. The first session, we spent our time giving the school committee's team our entire proposal package and explaining our proposals, explaining our reasons, asking for questions if clarity was needed. At the second session on March 19th, we were told that you had proposals ready, and we were very eager to spend the 2 hours discussing your proposals, your counters, getting work done on the contract. Instead, your team walked out of the room twice. And as one of our members pointed out, we would never walk out of the room on our students. We were flabbergasted that you would walk out of the room on us. So we are here today to highlight that we are here ready to do the work. We are not interested in playing these games. We've done the work before our sessions to have our proposals ready so we could spend the 2-hour sessions talking with you, discussing issues, coming to fair agreements, and moving forward. We want a signed contract by the end of this year so we can focus on the day-to-day needs, the day-to-day that our students deserve from us. We have before you, we have offered you 3 more dates to meet this month. And last week in an email, Superintendent Renner doubled down that you would not meet with us until we agreed to limit the size of our team, which is not the district's right to demand. Our team is comprised of our core negotiating team as well as silent reps, members of our union who are part of the process, who want the transparency to sit at the table with their employers and discuss out fair agreement for the next 3 years. Today, our Unit A members have with them more than 200 postcards signed by our staff, signed by community members, for each of you, so that you can read the various reasons why we would like you to come back to the table.
I mean,
We ask that you read these.
how much longer do you have here?
We ask that you read these and take them seriously. When we tell you that we are ready to do the work, we want to negotiate a contract, and we hope you take seriously the decision to come back to the table and work with us, not against us. Sure. Thank you for your consideration.
Any other public comment?
Hi, Dave Smolsky from Charlton. Good evening, committee members and fellow residents. For those of us who live in Charlton, I'm here tonight with a simple question. Who will make the decisions that affect your children's schools, your property taxes, and the future of our town? This Saturday, April 11th at 10:30 a.m., a candidate forum will be hosted on the top floor of Charlton's library, where all 16 candidates who are running for elected positions will have the opportunity to present their visions and answer your questions. So why does this matter? Why should you care? School related, because a couple candidates are running for this school committee. Look around the room. The decisions made by our elected officials directly impact every aspect of our lives, from our children's education to our tax bills, from public safety to our character of our town. Yet, historically, local elections across Massachusetts towns, like Charlton, often see significantly lower turnout than state or national elections. Many of our important town decisions are made by a relatively small percentage of eligible voters. This means a fraction of our neighbors are effectively deciding what happens for all of us. I'd imagine many of you invest in your future. Maybe you have 401ks, IRAs, stocks, other investments. Well, attending the event this Saturday is an investment in your future too. And all it costs is a little of your time. Roughly what you'd spend watching a movie on Netflix, Amazon Prime, or maybe down at the local movie theater. The event's moderator will ensure each attending candidate has equal time to speak and respond to your concerns. The event begins with a candidate introduction section, then a forum to answer submitted questions, followed by the opportunity to casually meet the candidates. I get it, we're all busy, but can we really claim that we care about Charlton's future or our schools if we can't spare a short amount of time once a year to make an informed choice at the polls? Charlton residents can submit questions in advance to our town moderator at noreen.smith@townofcharlton.net or in writing at the library during the event. I encourage everyone, please mark your calendars and help to spread the word. In local government, your vote matters more than in any national election, but only if you know who truly represents your values. Thank you. I know I'll see some of you at this table at the event, and I hope to see a good turnout from Charlton residents too.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Chris Wongcam. Many of you know me. Those of you who don't, I am a graduate of Bay Path. That makes me an alumni. Both my daughters graduated from Bay Path. That makes me a parent. I am an employee of 18 years at Bay Path. That makes me an employee. I am a resident of Oxford, so that makes me a member of the district. And I am here today to ask the school committee to ask questions. We are being told that the budget is over by $1.3 million. Why? Like the gentleman just said, you guys are the top. You guys make the decisions. Yet when the budget came up earlier, nobody asked the question. That's all I'm asking. Ask questions. Thank you.
Any additional? Okay. We'll move on, thank you. Moving on to new business, 4A recognitions.
Through the chair, we have several recognitions tonight. First up is our athletic trainer Greg White was nominated and selected as the National Athletic Trainers Association Secondary School Athletic Trainer of the Year for District 1. Greg was invited to attend the National Athletic Trainers Association Clinical Symposia and the Athletic Trainers Expo in Philadelphia, where he will receive his award and be recognized. From the NTA, they state, the secondary school setting presents unique challenges, and your commitment to meet those challenges head-on and dedicate yourself to providing exemplary patient care and serve as a beacon of all that is good in our possession in our profession has not gone unnoticed. The nominees we evaluated exhibited these characteristics and the scoring was competitive. We are honored to acknowledge and celebrate your ability to elevate above your peers. Greg is an unbelievably deserving recipient of this award for his heroic efforts in providing life-saving emergency care to one of our own students back in the fall. We're honored to have Greg as part of our PP family. A round of applause. Next up is Dr. Samantha McGuan. During the week of March 23rd to the 27th, Curriculum Coordinator and ACTE National Leadership Fellow, Dr. McGuan visited Capitol Hill to advocate for critical advancements in vocational training alongside a dedicated team of educators. The collective efforts focused on driving support for several key legislative priorities. 1, the Career and Technical Education Access Act. 2, educator development and recruitment. And 3, workforce Pell legislation. More information is available in my report if you're interested. We can say it. Next up, I'll recognize 2 outstanding students, Emily Corey and Vincent Bedard. On March 25th, seniors Emily Corey, Programming and Web Dev from Auburn, and Vincent Bedard, Information Support Services and Network from Spencer, were recognized as Worcester County Superintendent's Association Scholars during a luncheon at the Hogan campus at the College of the Holy Cross. This event brings principals and superintendents together to honor the high academic achievement and leadership of the selected student. We are beyond proud to have Emily and Vincent as Bay Path grads coming this May. And there's more detail on each one of those students in the director's report as well.
Let's clap now.
Next up is Jennifer Pepe, a special educator in Bay Path. Ms. Pepe was nominated by her senior class for the 96.1 WSRS March 2026 Teacher of the Month. Ms. Pepe was selected for this honor, and she has been a member of Bay Path since 2021, and in addition to teaching English, she's also the yearbook advisor. Ms. Pepe received a $100 gift card for school supplies and a $100 gift card for Niche Hospitality Restaurant Group and a commemorative plaque. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Pepe for this wonderful honor. And last recognition, but not least, Nancy Alpine, Director of Special Education, was selected as this year's Vocational School Special Education Director of the Year.
Woo!
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Congratulations to everybody you mentioned. Great achievements right across the board. Moving on to presentations, we have the FY25 audit report. Scanlon Associates.
Through the chair. With the recommendation of the audit subcommittee, the superintendent, director, and the school business manager, we recommend the school committee vote to accept the FY25 annual audit from Scanlon Associates as presented.
So moved. A motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, C, surplus equipment. 1, metal fabrication.
Through the chair, the superintendent, director, and the vocational director, and the school business manager recommend the school committee vote to place 1, 1972 universal fender that is inoperable and valued at $0 on the surplus equipment list to be disposed of according to the school committee surplus equipment policy using the most appropriate method available.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. C2, auto collision repair and refinishing.
Through the chair, the superintendent, director, the vocational director, and the school business manager recommend the school committee vote to place 1, 2010 virtual reality sprayer that is inoperable and valued at $0 on the surplus equipment list to be disposed of according to the school committee surplus equipment policy using the most appropriate method available.
So second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. D, approval of out-of-state field trip. Number 1, veterinary animal science, Oak Ridge Dairy Farm, Ellington, Connecticut.
Through the chair, the superintendent, director, vocational director, and the principal recommend the school committee vote to allow 10 students and 2 instructors to attend an out-of-state field trip to the Oak Ridge Dairy Farm in Ellington, Connecticut on June 4th, 2026. There is a fee of $10 per student.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2, culinary arts, Newport Harbor Brick Alley Pub.
So,
They don't need chaperones.
First question I was gonna ask.
we will have to. Through the chair, the superintendent, director, the vocational director, and the principal recommend the school committee vote to allow 24 students and 3 instructor chaperones to attend an out-of-state field trip to Newport Harbor and Brick Alley Pub in Newport, Rhode Island on May 18th, 2026. The expenses will be paid using the culinary arts revolving account.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. E, approval of student handbook revisions.
Through the chair, included in the packet is the proposed changes for the 2026-2027 student handbook. These changes were developed by the assistant principal with input from other administrators and staff. The policy subcommittee and the superintendent director recommend the school committee vote to approve the proposed student handbook changes for the 26-27 school year as presented.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Thank you. I have a couple questions. The first one's probably an easy one. There were some name changes in there. Now, does the Department of Ed have to approve those name changes before they can be brought to the Bay Path? In other words, I always thought that they had to have whatever names that the Department of Ed has, DESE has. I thought we had to carry those names forward.
In terms of programs,
Yes, names, you're changing names in the handbook. I assume that names will be changed all over the place if that's the case. Now, does DESE have to approve that first?
not that I know, for a name change, the zip code stays the same.
Okay.
Question.
It used to be that way, so before you change them, you might want to confirm that. Okay.
We can look into it, but
Okay.
I'm not familiar with any form there's a 25% change or a 75% change process.
Okay, all right, it's just- Okay, and the second thing is, under the dress code, there's a statement here that says, and I think all the statements probably aren't new, but one of them says, hats are allowed at Bay Path, however, your ears may not be fully covered. Is that a new addition to the handbook?
So, yep, and I can defer to the principal on it, but we talked about it at the subcommittee. Ears covered covers up the ear pods
Right.
on
That
that.
makes sense.
So yes, having the ski caps when they come in, you can't see that until
Right.
much later if you see it at all. So having the ears exposed, you can see the ear pods on that and be asked to please remove those and put them in a pouch.
So it's going to be very hard, I would assume, to be able to monitor that, because what's not fully covered is at the bottom of the ear. It's just that's going to be having no hat is easy to enforce, but this is going to be a very difficult thing to enforce that I see, and then I'm not sure what that's going to end up like.
Yeah, I can defer to the principal on
Sure.
that, but
Through the chair, I mean, we studied this and we talked about it from the assistant principal's point of view. The complete covering of the ear is what allows for the earbuds to be hidden. I haven't seen anything else besides a ski hat that would promote that type of option that we have to worry about. And that's where we came into this whole play. Because we did notice that once that hat is pulled down over, you can't see anything.
Right.
There's nothing else that we've seen during the school day that would suggest that partial ear coverings would be the case. So it is pretty simple. It's basically the ski hat. So anything that can be pulled down over the top.
Okay. All right, good luck enforcing that one. Okay, thank you.
That it? Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, approval of admissions policy revisions.
Sorry, I was just making a note. After our review of our policy and in consideration of AIR, and here's the acronym, American Institutes for Research, the contractor for DESE, we have revised our admissions policy to ensure our policies are in alignment with DESE regulations. The policy subcommittee and the superintendent director recommend the school committee vote to approve the revisions to the admissions policy as submitted.
So moved.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item G, approval of job description for assistant to the food services director.
Through the chair, due to a recent DESE state audit of our food service department, it has been recommended by DESE auditor that we provide our food service director with an assistant to support new state guidelines and distribution reports. The superintendent director, the school business manager, and the food service director recommend the school committee vote to approve the job description for an assistant to the food service director as submitted.
Second. So moved, rather.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. H, approval to attend Skills USA State Leadership and Skills Conference.
Through the chair, as a result of our Skills USA district competition, we have 50 students with 2 advisors and 4 chaperones attending the Skills USA state competition, which will be held at the Best Western Royal Plaza Trade Center in Marlborough, Massachusetts on Thursday, April 30th through Saturday, May 2nd for a cost of approximately $25,140. The superintendent director, the vocational director, and the school business manager recommend that the school committee vote to approve participation in the Skills USA State Leadership and Skills Conference for 2 advisors, 7 chaperones, and 37 high school students, which will be held April 30th to May 2nd, 2026 for a cost of approximately $25,140 to be paid out of account number 1500.3525.3520.525.06.03.603.570000 Skills USA DECA account.
Did you miss a zero? No.
So moved.
A motion?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, information and proposals, report from the superintendent director.
To the chair, I've submitted a written report. I'm prepared to answer any questions on that. I would just like to point out there is more detailed information about our 2 outstanding scholars, Emily Corey and Vincent Bedard. I do also want to point out that on Saturday, March 28th, at the annual Mass CTE Awards Banquet, Emily Corey was recognized as the secondary student of the year for Central Massachusetts. She keeps racking them up, which is awesome. And also, Kevin Holmes and the Advantage Truck Group ATG were the recipients of the Friends of Career and Technical Education Award. This award, their nomination was made by BayPath as well as the Skills USA State for all the work that ATG has done in their extreme advocacy for career and technical education throughout the state on that. And I do want to call out in April, we look forward to celebrating at the MAVA Mass CTE combined Most Outstanding Vocational Student of the Year ceremonies that are held April 16th at Mechanics Hall. This year we will recognize and celebrate our very own school committee student representative, David Betancourt. 12th grade design and drafting student from Webster. David exemplifies scholastic achievement, vocational technical excellence, and leadership. These characteristics were essential in his significant contributions and accomplishments to our school community and commitment to excellence that reflect the very best of BayPath. David is the Student Council President, the National Honor Society Vice President, as well as a 3-year member of the Steering Committee and a member of the STEM Club, Journalism and Writing Club, and debate team. Hold on.
But there's more.
David is currently working cooperative education at Prime Metals Technologies in Sutton, Massachusetts. He plans to attend college for civil engineering and has been accepted to several UMass schools to include Amherst, Lowell, Boston, and Dartmouth. I don't think there's any other ones. along with acceptances at University of Rhode Island, University of New Hampshire, Wentworth Institute of Technology, Merrimack College, and Worcester Polytechnic Institute.
Wow.
David is a proud second-generation immigrant whose parents came to the United States from Colombia. While he has traveled to visit and learn more about his parents' country of origin, David firmly considers the United States his home and expresses deep appreciation for the life his family has built here. Congratulations to David and his family. Bay Path is so very proud and appreciative of all your achievements.
Thank you.
One very important question for everyone. Out of those 43, which one did you pick?
So I'm going to be picking probably within the next week or two, either between UMass Amherst or WPI.
Wow.
Okay.
Coming
Congratulations.
down.
My recommendation's WPI.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think it's going to be WPI, to be honest.
Congratulations. All right. Subcommittee reports. Audit subcommittee.
On
Mr.
subcommittee, the committee met this evening, voted on a chair, and also did the business of recommending the audit report for 2025, which the committee acted on this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Budget subcommittee, Don Gillette.
No activity in the last month.
Thank you. Building and grounds hasn't met yet. Negotiations subcommittee, Mr. Grenier.
We had a tariff negotiations meeting on April 29th, and I don't have a date right now for the PPTA.
Okay. Thank you. Policy subcommittee, Mr. Scher, teacher.
We ended up meeting earlier this evening. We passed and recommended to the full school committee the student handbook revisions and the admission policy revisions, which the school committee had approved.
Thank you. Warrant subcommittee. The warrants are available for signatures by all of us at monthly meetings and during the day at school. As I say every month, if you are going to come up during the day at school, just call before you come in to make sure there's someone there so you can access them. It is very important to sign those so we can pay our bills. Future business. There's a meeting in this room, 7 p.m., Monday, May 4th. That is a typo on the agenda about the hearing on school choice. It's just a regular school committee meeting. Topics for future agenda, reach out to the superintendent director, myself, or Leah, and we will do our best to accommodate. Remarks from the superintendent director.
2 remarks through the school chair. I want to recognize Ms. Cindy Schofield in the business manager's office for the tremendous work this year. As presented the audit, there were no findings in the audit, and a job well done on that. And that was done under the duress of completely cutting over our financial management software system on that. So kudos to a job well done. And I want to bring attention to the school committee and those in the public. If you looked at the Telegram and Gazette last Thursday evening, there was an article about a legislative bill that was filed by Senator Fatman to review and study the need for an agricultural school in central Massachusetts. So I was eager to read that late Thursday night after advisory. I've shared the story with the chair, and I disturbed both the director and the principal late Thursday night with my excitement to read that article. We've laid the groundwork for agricultural programs at Bay Path. Bay Path sits on just over 250 acres, and there is a gaping hole in central Massachusetts for agricultural career and technical education. Many of our sending towns ask the question, when are we open to agricultural? There's a need for our students, and there's also a need to stop our students from being on a bus for 2 hours to get to an agricultural school. On the western side of our towns, we're sending them out to Northampton at Smith Aggie. Nothing against Smith or Norfolk down in Walpole, because the eastern side, they're going down to Walpole. They do a remarkable job. The cost to transport these students is exorbitant. At Wednesday nights, FinCom meeting in Auburn, the last question from the chair was, when are you open agricultural? And I said, as soon as we get the money. He said, our next line item is $50,000 to transport two students to Walpole. And I can name Spencer, after a FinCom meeting a year or two ago, their costs. I know from the town I live in, there's over $85,000 in transportation costs. They have, and I've advocated with the senator, and I've sat on his agricultural roundtables with the principal. We have strong connections with the agricultural business in our area. We have the infrastructure, we have the buildings, we have the sewer, we have the power, we have the water systems here. More importantly, we have the know-how, how to implement agricultural career vocational technical education. It's just another program. It's needed here. I reached out on Friday to the senator and his aides and said, what do we do next? How do we get Bay Path to the top of the list? If you're gonna consider agricultural anywhere in Central Mass, Bay Path needs to be there. His aides responded. Before I read that article, keep me honest, gentlemen, that morning with our liaison, we talked about the next steps to get agricultural at Bay Path, and we decided that we'd set up a legislative breakfast along with town committee members, along with agricultural business owners, and talk about and walk the grounds and say, how do we get this done? And that's why I was so excited when I got home after an outstanding advisory committee meeting, that I read that article with excitement and hope that Bay Path can expand into that avenue. We also have, through the starting of the veterinary sciences, that is the zip code for animal science. Back when the state was bifurcating the frameworks, we said we want to hold animal science for future growth. It's all over the horizon now. Ag business is expanding. It's not just farms. There's marketing, there's sales, there's entertainment, all with that. And we could be at the forefront here in Central Mass. So I want to share with you, I shared with and copied the chair on that letter about the next round. So when that breakfast comes, or when you hear about it, if you're an advocate for it, put Bay Path's name at the forefront of that, and that should be our next area of growth.
Thank you, I agree, that would be fantastic for the local communities, especially with budget constraints.
Yeah, so that's good. Oh, is that a breakfast you're looking to host?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, my plan would be to host a breakfast here, in a forum like this where we can talk, the senator can share what his vision of agriculture is and where they're looking to go with that, and all the other legislators, and then hear from, industry reps in agriculture, whether that's ag mechanics or actual farm or ag business type people, and then perhaps walk the ground. And we can talk, what I always say when we host people is, we'll talk, but the proof is in the pudding when we walk around and we see the programs in action and they see how engaged the students are, how engaged our faculty is. And I say it through every tour, we stop talking and our faculty takes over and expounds on the virtues of the programs and what the students are learning on that. And if they see that and then look at the grounds of the acreage that we have and the infrastructure we have, dare to dream where you want to place the building. We need a building, we have the grounds, it's former apple orchard, and this is where it should be.
Great. You think of before the end of the year?
My hope is definitely, I sent that Friday, I was gonna give them 24 hours and the senator's office got back to me just before we came into the meeting, so, yeah, so we'll get it going.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments? With that, we'll move around the table. Comments from the committee, I'll start with your Mike.
Yeah, a little history of Charlton. So if it's gonna be in this town had 55 working dairy farms back in the day, so it'd be a good place for it.
Absolutely.
And in the central region, it would really be a good reach out. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Benny?
I'll say congratulations, David, on all your achievements, and college is coming quick. Good job.
Kirsten?
I just wanted to mention that 2 weeks ago I went to a culinary event. It was Fork It Over in Worcester. I went to support my brother, he's in culinary, and they won Best in Savory and People's Choice and Judge's Choice. My brother was on that team, and then they also won People's Choice in the sweet category. And I thought it was really, I tried all their dishes and they were really good. I was like, I was gonna just vote for my brother anyways, but then I was like,
Slightly biased.
but yeah, it was really good. They all really well.
Excellent. Mike?
If memory serves, there was an agricultural program here at Bay Path, at least when the school opened initially. How long ago was that terminated?
Yeah, probably
A long time.
Yeah.
But we do, through the chair, we do have a chapter of the Future Farmers of America, FFA, has been brought back in. So we've just had 2 students compete at that, and we're awaiting the results on that, so.
It's part of David's resume as well.
No, it wasn't David.
Well, congratulations, David. You covered all the bases and home plate as well, I think.
Mary?
I just want to give kudos to everyone that got recognized this month. It's amazing. We've got a lot of good people here.
Absolutely. Thank you. Don?
Yeah, same thing. Congratulations to the, effort that people put forward, to be recognized. Yeah.
Thank you. Anne Marie?
Congratulations to all, and especially David. It's very exciting.
Tim?
Remarkable, absolutely remarkable. I do have a question about the Central Mass Agricultural Proposal.
Sure.
What other facilities besides Bay Path, or who would Bay Path be competing against, I guess would be the better question.
Under the previous administration, the Lieutenant Governor was looking at the state land around Tufts University, School of Veterinary Medicine, Cummings. That, I'm familiar with that land. It's vacant farmland. The infrastructure, Tufts has taken over most of the old Westboro Hospital buildings on that, so there's not much there. If I think of our other schools, I would think that Leicester might want to throw their hat in the ring because they took over the Becker College campus. I would argue that Reno Vocational Education, we've been doing it a lot longer, the successes here. I would also argue that our grounds are more conducive to agricultural, and I think our location to, surrounding farmland as well as our relationships that we've already established with, several farm businesses, a large dairy farm in Sutton, as well as some equestrian farms, as well as our entry into diesel technology, which is ag mechanics under a different name on that, and our partnerships with heavy equipment as well as agricultural dealers in that area makes Bay Path rise to the top against anybody around us.
Thanks.
Excellent. Katie?
Just kudos to everybody for all the great stuff. David, I look at myself sometimes and say, how do I have that so much stuff on my plate? You just put me to shame. Like, literally, I don't know how you do it, and keep your grades the way you do. You are an amazingly brilliant young man. I can't wait to actually hear what you do in the future. You're going to do great things. Can't wait to see what spring sports bring for Bay Path this year. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to see where this agricultural thing goes. It's something that needs to come back.
Absolutely. Erica?
I'm just happy to be here. But also, congratulations to David. I feel so privileged to be part of this tonight and hear all these wonderful things. But subtle brag, my daughter is an 8th grade student at Charlton Middle School, and just a couple weeks ago did a project for her civics class on why agriculture should be part of schools and how it would help children's mental health and a variety of reasons and get them out working in the dirt and become more self-sufficient as people. And so I think I'm all about this. This is great. Very exciting.
Yeah. Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
I was just on this afternoon with a board member of the Massachusetts Commission on Mental Health, and she's on board to attend because of all the benefits of outdoors and agriculture for mental health and all that. So she's already said, you just send me an invitation and I'll speak on behalf of the board. So
That's so great. That's what her entire presentation was on.
it's another star coming into the library. Thank you.
And she'll be here in the fall, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
Peter Scher.
Congratulations, David. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you.
And also, I wanted to mention my grandson went here for 1 year, but was interested in agriculture. So he transferred to Norfolk. They went there for 3 years as far as agriculture and diesel mechanic. Okay, so he had to travel an hour and a half each way.
Wow.
Okay, the town had to pay back then, this is like 7 years ago or 6, $50,000. There was nothing they could say. He went on after Norfolk to Cobleskill and graduated from agricultural college there. And with no problem went on to work in Iowa, Nebraska. Now he's in New York, doing heavy machinery with John Deere and all the heavy equipment. So it's something that Bay Path can really use instead of having to go to Smith or Norfolk. And I think it will be a shot in the arm for Bay Path.
That's so great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, great job on the audit, Cindy. Congratulations to all the great work that we've had here over the last month. It's terrific. And by the way, and your future is so bright you need shades. That line from the 80s.
Sure.
And by the way,
Yeah.
I think the agricultural school is a great idea. There's a lot more to that today. I think people maybe don't know that, but it's agribusiness. It's, I want to say hydroponics. I think that's the right term for growing a greenhouse. All that stuff, which has really come a long way. And you've got a great first volunteer for that committee, whose house sits on one of Paxton's most favored or former dairy farms. And he's married into that family, so this is the guy right here.
There you
This is
go.
the guy right here.
Don?
I too would like to congratulate the business office staff for all the hard work they did in getting that great audit report. And of course to all the staff for their wonderful achievements that Mr. Brenner read about. And one last thing, I was just wondering if we had talked about it a couple months ago about getting a final selection compilation of the freshman exploratory process. I don't think we've received that yet.
We're gonna send it out.
I did share with you.
Alright, so it's
Yeah.
my fault.
Okay.
I'll forward it up.
Thank you. Thanks.
I did see it. Go ahead, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff.
Alright,
Bob?
congratulations to David and all the other people of Bay Path who were recognized this evening. It'd be rough to run down all the names of those recipients. And the agriculture finance committees in the various towns have been talking about the concern for the transportation as long as I've been on this committee, which is over 20 years. And, it totals up to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year just to provide transportation, plus the out of district tuition for those students. That's the monetary side. Industry in central Massachusetts, between the orchards, the dairies, need individuals that are interested in carrying on their industry. And that'll be another reason for us to be concerned with establishing a school.
Can I interject for a minute for Robert? So he's from Spencer. So working at David Prouty, they have a light version of Aggie, and it's through their environmental CTE program, which they're doing a light version of Aggie, but it's part of the environmental science.
Excellent. Bob Tremblay?
David, congratulations. You got two good schools you got a lot of schools to choose from. Your last two were good schools. I had a son that graduated UMass Amherst, did well, so. They're good choices, so. Other than that, congratulations to everybody else that was recognized this evening.
Do you want add anything else?
Yeah, congratulations to Emily, Corey, and Vincent. They're two of my classmates, and I think all of my classes, so I've already congratulated them already. Thank you to the business office for the audit. I heard a bit about that both today and out of here. And I'm looking forward to that agricultural program as well. I know there's been talk too, even outside of this and that program, of bringing it back potentially, and students maybe being interested in that, who I've spoken to as well. There's many students who are interested in that. That's all from me. Also, welcome, Eric.
Thank you. I have a couple things. One is, been on the board a couple of years. I have seen some good business managers and some not so good, and then the school has had a history of, well, we don't even have to get into that. But to get an audit that had 0 recommendations, I've only seen one other time. So I really want to tell you, Cindy, that's a fantastic accomplishment for an audit of a budget of this magnitude. All the funds we have, the federal programs, the grants, I mean, to come back with no recommendations, kudos to you for that. So really, really mean that. And then, David, I don't know how I can top that list that the superintendent read, but fortunate enough, I sit on the Education Foundation as well. So the other day, Leah gave me 220 student scholarship applications to read. The list of accomplishments, I don't want to say he dwarfs them because he doesn't. They're all the same for a vast majority of these kids. I mean, you mentioned 2 of them just now to congratulate them, Emily and Vincent, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. The amount of accomplishments these kids have is just incredible. How you pick which 20 kids we're going to give a scholarship to out of 200 is just
Lottery.
I don't have, lottery. Because I'm actually flying out of town, so I don't have to choose them this week. I just turned in my numbers, so man, oh man, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. So congratulations to you and all your classmates and your teachers and your parents. Everyone has helped you along the way. It's fantastic. That's it for me right now. I do have one other item that we have to move into, which is executive session for contract negotiations, and we're going to vote to move into executive session for the purpose of MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public, and to reconvene an open session to take any action and adjourn.
So moved.
Second. So I have a motion and a second. This will be a roll call vote. You have updated sheets. All right, Katie, yes means yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mary Barrel.
Yes.
Al Beeland is absent. Jim Caldwell absent. Richard Clark.
Yes.
Kirsten. Erica.
Yes.
There you go. Don Gillette.
Yes.
Dave Grenier.
Yes.
Mary Johnson is absent. Myself, yes. Don Monville.
Yes.
Anne Marie Pantos.
Yes.
Mike Pantos.
Yes.
Peter Shore.
Yes.
Tim Shore.
Yes.
Mike T. Berry. Bob Tremblay.
Yes.
Jeff Weitzel.
Yes.
Bob Zukowski.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna be in executive session